Hello viewers, I am Deepti. On special request of some of my viewers, today I am going to discuss a special compilation of most important questions for ICSE Class 10 Physics in the form of a model test paper on the pattern of Board 2022-23. As you are well aware about the pattern of paper till this time, so we are straightway coming to question number 1, in which first question is 15 MCQ. So potential energy of a person is minimum when a person is standing, a person is sitting in a chair, a person is sitting on the ground, and a person is lying on the ground. As you know, potential energy is associated with height. The more the height, the more is the potential energy, and the minimum height of the person is when he is lying on the ground. So when the person is lying on the ground, it is option number D. So in part number 1, our option number D is correct. In second, a ray of light from medium A enters into medium B. From medium A, the ray is entering to medium B, like this. The refractive index of medium B relative to A will be. Now you can see here the angle of incidence is more and angle of refraction is less. It means ray is bending toward the normal, and whenever ray is bending toward the normal, it means this is a denser medium. This is a denser medium and this is a rarer medium. So our question is the refractive index of medium B relative to A will be. A option is greater than unity, B is less than unity, C is equal to unity, and D is 0. So here clear indication is greater than unity. So option A is correct, in which denser medium has more refractive index. So refractive index of B is greater than unity. Now in question number 3, out of the following which possess the highest refractive index? A option is flint glass, B is crown glass, C is diamond, and D is water. So correct answer is C, which is diamond, because in diamond the refractive index is 2.41. So in part number 3, our C option diamond is correct, and in second part A option is correct, greater than unity. In fourth part, in accordance with the new and old conventions, the colors of the insulation of live wire is brown and black, blue and red, brown and red, green and red. So according to the new convention, the color is brown. According to the old convention, the color is red. So correct option is C, which is brown and red. For live wire, we use these colors. In question number 5, the adjacent diagram shows two bar magnets P and Q hang freely at both ends of the solenoid. Which observation is correct when the switch is turned on? A option, magnet P moves toward the solenoid and magnet Q moves away from the solenoid. We can get this answer in this diagram only when we know the pole. So as we see, positive line is on left hand side, so current will flow like this, and according to the right hand thumb rule, we will get to know that on left hand side the pole is, because you can see anti-clockwise direction. So north pole will be on the left hand side. So when north pole is there, then south pole wants to come towards the north pole. So our A option is magnet P move toward the solenoid. Magnet P इसके पास आने की कोशिश करेगी, सोलेनॉइड के पास आएगी, क्योंकि वहां पर नॉर्थ पोल है, तभी अपोजिट पोलैरिटी, इसलिए वो पास आएगा. और दूसरी तरफ में जब इधर हमारा नॉर्थ हो गया, उस तरफ हमारा क्लॉकवाइज आएगा, इट मीन्स वहां पर हमारा साउथ पोल आएगा. साउथ पोलैरिटी दूसरी मैग्नेट को क्या कहेगी? Go move away. So magnet Q moves away from the solenoid. So our correct option is A, in which magnet P move toward the solenoid, क्योंकि हमारे left hand side में solenoid के north pole बना है, and magnet Q moves away from the solenoid क्योंकि हमारा right hand side में south pole ही बना है. So correct option is A. In fifth part, correct option is A. Next is, a pendulum is oscillating on either side of its positive mean position. A pendulum is oscillating. So we know that this is the mean position and these are the extreme positions. The correct statement is, it has only kinetic energy at each position. We know about pendulum. Whenever pendulum is in this position, it has potential energy equal to mgh. This is the mean position. Here kinetic energy is equal to mgh and potential is 0. And here again potential energy is equal to mgh. In between all these, it has both kinetic and potential energy. So our second option is it has the maximum kinetic energy at its extreme position. Extreme position, maximum kinetic energy not possible because potential energy due to height is there. C is it has the maximum potential energy at its mean position. At mean position, potential energy is not possible because here all the energy is due to motion and it is kinetic energy. And D option is some of its kinetic and potential energy remain constant throughout the motion, and this is our correct option, option number D, because sum of total potential energy and kinetic energy remains constant and its sum will be equal to the mgh. So correct option is option number D. In part number 7, a light ray does not bend at the boundary in passing from one medium to the other medium if the angle of incidence is. Angle of incidence is when light ray is coming like this and it is going straight way. It means no bending is there. Here the angle which this incident ray makes with the normal is 0 degree. So I is equal to 0 degree and R is also equal to 0 degree. So this is our condition. This is option number A, which is 0 degree. So 7th part, A option is correct. Angle is 0 degree. Other options are 45, 60 and 90. They are incorrect. In part A, in which direction will the galvanometer deflect? Here we need to apply Lenz rule, because north pole is moving towards the solenoid. When north pole is moving toward the solenoid, then solenoid अपने आप को क्या बनाएगा कि वो चाहता है कि नॉर्थ पोल उसके पास ना आए अकॉर्डिंग टू लेंज रूल. वो अपने को क्या बनाएगा, नॉर्थ पोल बना लेगा. यहाँ पर नॉर्थ पोल बनाने का मतलब क्या हो गया कि करंट की डायरेक्शन हमारी इस तरफ से लेफ्ट हैंड साइड से ऐसे से जानी है, नॉर्थ से जाएगी और इस तरफ तक साउथ बन जाएगा. तो इट मीन्स जो सोलेनॉइड के अंदर करंट आने वाला है वो अगर ये एंड बी है तो बी से ए की तरफ जा रहा है. बी से ए की तरफ जाएगा यानी कि हमारे गैल्वेनोमीटर की नीडल ए की तरफ बेंड कर जाएगी. यानी गैल्वेनोमीटर की नीडल कहाँ डिफ्लेक्ट कर रही है, राइट, लेफ्ट, लेफ्ट एंड राइट, नो डिफ्लेक्शन इज ऑब्जर्व्ड. सो करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज बी, क्योंकि गैल्वेनोमीटर की नीडल नॉर्थ पोल की तरफ डिफ्लेक्ट करेगी क्योंकि करंट उसमें बी से ए की तरफ जाएगा. इट मीन्स लेफ्ट. ऑप्शन करेक्ट इज बी. In 8th part, it is B, left direction. Now in 9th part, an electric fan and a heater are marked as 100 watt, 220 volt. 100 watt and 220 volt. And next is heater, which is 1000 watt and 220 volt. Here power is more, power is less. And we also know the formula for resistance. It is R is equal to V square upon P, where inverse relation between resistance and power, because V is same in both the cases. So जिसकी power ज़्यादा है उसकी resistance कम है. Question किसका पूछा गया है? The resistance of heater is. A option is equal to that of fan. Equal तो हो ही नहीं सकते दोनों की resistance. Less than that of fan. Heater की resistance फैन से लेस होगी क्योंकि हीटर की पावर ज्यादा है तो हीटर की रेजिस्टेंस कम हो जाएगी. सो दिस इज करेक्ट ऑप्शन बी. रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ हीटर इज लेस देन दैट ऑफ फैन. अदर ऑप्शंस आर ग्रेटर देन दैट ऑफ फैन. नहीं, जीरो, इनकरेक्ट. नाउ पार्ट नंबर 10, द रेजिस्टेंस whose VI graph is given below is. A option is 5/3 ohm, B is 3/5 ohm or 5/2 ohm or 2/5 ohm. So VI graph is, on y-axis we have V and on x-axis we have I, and we know that R is equal to V upon I. Y-axis on the numerator. So on y-axis it is 3 volt and 5 volt. So R is equal to 3 upon 5, or we can take 6 upon 10. 6 upon 10, but after cancellation of common digit is again 3 upon 5. So our resistance is 3 upon 5, and this is our option number B. So in 10th part, our option is B, which is correct. In 11th part, two bodies A and B of masses small m and capital M, where capital M is very, very greater than small m. So it means the mass of B body is greater than A body. Now, have same kinetic energy. This is given that they have same kinetic energy. Then which of the following is correct? And the relations are given in the term of momentum. PA is greater than PB, PB is greater than PA, both are equal and none of these. So we know the relation between momentum and kinetic energy, which is P square, momentum square is equal to 2mk. So here it is given that kinetic energy is same. So P upon P dash, momentum of both the bodies, is directly proportional of the bodies, momentum of both the bodies P upon P dash is equal to M upon M dash. So which is bigger? M dash, B body, it means capital M. The mass of the body is greater, so momentum of B body is greater. So we will say that PB is greater than PA. It means very, very greater than. So it is our option number B. So momentum of B body is greater than A. This is our option number B in 11th part. In 12th, which is not the condition of formation of echoes from chapter sound. A option is minimum distance between the source of sound and reflecting body should be 17 meter, and we know that this is correct option. B is the temperature of air should be above 20 degrees Celsius. C is the temperature of sound should be less than the size of the reflecting medium. Again, this is correct. D, the intensity of sound should be sufficient so that it could be heard after reflection. Again, this is correct. So our incorrect option is part number B. So in 12th part, B is correct option. 13th, from the power rating of an electrical appliance, we can find A option, the resistance of the appliance. If we know the power rating, we can calculate the resistance with the formula R is equal to V square upon P. It means this is correct option. In B, the safe limit of current which can flow through the appliance. When power is given, so we know that P is equal to VI, so I is equal to P upon V. So with the given power, we can calculate resistance, and at the same time, we can calculate safe limit of current. So B option is again correct. And C is both A and B, which is our correct option here because both A and B are correct. And D is none of these. 14th part, from last chapter, in a single radioactive decay, a substance emits dash radiations. A option, alpha, beta and gamma simultaneously. We know that this is not possible. Either alpha can emit or beta can emit. In B option, in the order alpha, beta and gamma one by one. In C, X-rays and gamma rays, all three options are incorrect. D option is alpha or beta emission, and we know that this is correct because in a single radioactive decay, only alpha or beta can emit along with the gamma radiation. This is possible. Gamma can associate with both of them, accompanied with both of them, but they cannot simultaneously emit alpha or beta. So our correct option here is D. Option number D. In last 15 parts, same amount of heat is added to two substances of same mass having specific heat capacities C1 and C2. Here, C1 is very greater than C2. C1 is very greater than C2. Specific heat capacity of one body is greater than two body. So, select the correct statement. A option is change in temperature of one is greater than the change in temperature of two. क्या चेंज इन टेम्परेचर वन में ज्यादा होगा? अगर इसका स्पेसिफिक हीट कैपेसिटी ज्यादा है, इट मींस इसको तो हीट एनर्जी ज्यादा लेनी है चेंज लाने के लिए, इसका तो ज्यादा नहीं हो सकता. बी, टेम्परेचर चेंज कैन नॉट बी रिलेटेड विद स्पेसिफिक हीट कैपेसिटी, नॉट पॉसिबल. C option is change in temperature of one is less than the change in temperature of two, which is our correct option. The change in temperature of one, इसमें change in temperature कम होगा, इसके अंदर ज्यादा होगा क्योंकि इसकी स्पेसिफिक हीट कैपेसिटी कम है. इट मींस थोड़ी सी हीट मिलने पे इसमें टेम्परेचर चेंज ज्यादा आ जाएगा. तो सी ऑप्शन इज करेक्ट, विच इज C is correct option. And D's both will have same change in temperature, not possible because it is given that their specific heat capacities are different. Now coming to question number 2, first part is A part, can absolute refractive index of a medium be less than 1? We know that absolute refractive index is the ratio of C upon V, where C is the speed of light in vacuum to the speed of light in any other medium. And we know that speed of light in vacuum is always greater than the speed of light in any other medium. यही वैल्यू हमेशा सबसे बड़ी होगी. जिसकी ये वैल्यू सबसे बड़ी होगी, अगर न्यूमरेटर ही बड़ा होगा, डिनोमिनेटर से हमेशा न्यूमरेटर बड़ा होगा, तो दिस वैल्यू इज ऑलवेज ग्रेटर देन 1. आवर क्वेश्चन इज, कैन इट बी लेस देन 1? सो आवर आंसर शुड बी नो. It is always greater than 1 or equal to 1 because the speed of light in vacuum is always greater than any other medium. This is the reason behind this. In part number B, what is the total reflecting prism? A prism having an angle of 90 degree between its two refracting surfaces and other two angles each of 45 degree equal to 45 degree is called a total reflecting prism, and the light incident normally on any of its faces suffers total internal reflection inside the prism. So इसे हम total reflecting prism कहते हैं. total reflecting prism. One angle is 90 degree and other two angles are 45 degree. Whenever a light incident from any of its faces, it suffers total internal reflection of any of its faces. So you can clear this doubt. I have made many videos on chapter light and discussed this topic in very detail there. So you can refer to that video also for the detailed information regarding these diagrams, all of these diagrams. Now coming to part number C, write the nuclear equation for the alpha decay of, and the element given is radon. Radon, and its atomic number is 88 and mass number is 226. So after alpha decay, it becomes, this is radon and it becomes radium. Radium and then 88 minus 2, because we know that atomic number reduces by 2 and mass number reduces by 4, because alpha means 2He4. So it becomes radon, and this is atomic number is 86 and mass number is 222. So this is our daughter nucleus and its name is radium. Next, in part number 2 of question number 2, a freely suspended pendulum in air is disturbed once and left to oscillate on its own. Pendulum को हमने disturb किया और उसको हमने on its own अपने आप ही छोड़ दिया. Then the first part is name the type of vibrations. So vibrations are natural vibrations, free vibrations, because we have not disturbed it again. So in part B, state one way to decrease the frequency of its vibration. How can we decrease the frequency of its vibration? By increasing the length of the pendulum, because we know that frequency is equal to 1 upon 2 pi under the root g upon L. So there is a inverse relation between F and L. If we increase L, then F will decrease. So they ask one way to decrease the frequency, we will increase the length of the pendulum here. In part number 3, two wires A and B are of the same area, present at temperature 25 degrees Celsius. Length of A is twice of the length of B. Which wire has greater resistance? Because they have same area, so resistance here does not depend on area. Which wire has greater resistance? जिसकी length ज़्यादा है, because we know that resistance is directly proportional to length, and the length of wire A is twice that of length of B. So wire A has greater resistance. In A part, we will write just wire A. In B, which wire will have greater resistivity? Resistivity does not depend upon length and area of cross section, because when we made these two equal to 1, then resistance is equal to resistivity. So resistivity is the characteristic property of the material, and the two wires both are made up of copper here, so they both have same resistivity. In B option, we will write just the same resistivity, no change. In fourth part, what is meant by earthing of an electrical appliance? And B part, how does the earthing offer protection? So A part is earthing of an electric appliance. It is a process of connecting the metallic body. Always keep it in your mind that earthing is done with the metallic body of the appliance. The metallic body of an appliance to the earth through a conductor. So this is known as earthing. In B part, they have asked, how does the earthing offer protection? When an appliance is properly earthed, then any accidental contact of live wire, अगर हमने गलती से छू दिया with its metallic body, result in a flow of heavy current to the appliance. तो वो करंट हमारी बॉडी के थ्रू नहीं जाएगा, appliance के थ्रू जाएगा. Earthing result in a safe and easy flow of electric current to the earth. Thus, a user is protected from any fatal electric shock. So this is the answer in brief. In fifth part, 10 gram of ice at 0 degrees Celsius. So in the case of ice, the mass is given as 10 gram. Absorbed 5460 joule of heat energy. So heat energy absorbed is 5460 joule. It is given in SI unit. To melt and change into water. Melt and change means first we need to take ml and then we need to take mc delta T, because it is for melting and it is for change in temperature. And change into water at 50 degrees Celsius. In the case of water, temperature is given as 50 degree, and because earlier it is 0, so 50 minus 0 we can directly take as 50 degrees Celsius. Calculate the specific latent heat of fusion of ice. We need to calculate L here. Given specific heat capacity of water is C is 4200 joule per kg per Kelvin. So now filling the values, Q is equal to ml plus mc delta T. Here the value of Q is given as 5460. Mass is given as 10 gram, but we need to convert it into SI unit first. So it is kg divided by 1000. So 0.01 kg. Mass is 0.01 L plus here also 0.01 into C is 4200 into delta T is 50. Now after calculation, this value comes out to be 2100. 2100 and then here 5460 and also 0.01 L. Subtracting this value, we will get 3360 divided by 0.01. So this is the value of L. It comes out to be 336000. So this is latent heat. Answer is in joule per kg. So our answer for this question is 336,000 joule per kg. Now coming to sixth part, a mixture of radioactive substances gives off three types of radiations. First part is name the radiation which travels with the speed of light. It means 3 into 10 raised to power 8. And we know that these radiations are gamma radiations because their speed is equal to the speed of light. In B part, name the radiation which is highest ionizing power. When we talk about ionizing power, alpha has the highest power, ionizing power. So our answer is alpha in this case. If in case they have asked penetrating power, then our answer should be gamma. In part number 7, explain briefly the function of the following in the household wiring. In first part, there was a 3-pin plug. What is the function of a 3-pin plug? A 3-pin plug is used to supply electricity to any electrical appliance whose body is earth. जिसमें अर्थिंग की गई है उसमें 3-pin plug चाहिए. Otherwise, we can use 2-pin plug also. So here 3-pin plug is mentioned. It means earthing is also there. The third big pin of the plug help us to do this earthing. The user of the electric appliance is then protected against any accidental electrical shock. In B part, what is the function of main switch? The main switch is connected right at the starting point of the household wiring. This enables us means user to switch on or off the supply of electricity to the household as per our requirement. So these are the answers of our question number 2. Now coming to question number 3. First part is find the weight W on the meter scale shown using the data given in the diagram. क्या है diagram? Fulcrum is at 32 centimeter. So fulcrum की position हमारी 32 centimeter पे है and weight of 100 gram is hanging at this point. It means 24 centimeter पे हमारा weight 100 gram का hang हो रहा है. 100 gram weight is at 24 centimeter. And then we need to calculate the value of this weight W, and obviously this W will be at the center of this meter rule, means 50 centimeter. So according to the principle of moment, for the scale to be in the horizontal position, anti-clockwise moment is equal to clockwise moment. Anti-clockwise moment is equal to clockwise moment. ना एंटी क्लॉकवाइज हमारी डायरेक्शन किसकी जाएगी? अगर हम वेट की लेंगे तो इस तरह से हमारी क्लॉकवाइज आएगी. इधर वाले वेट की 100 ग्राम की लेंगे तो एंटी क्लॉकवाइज आएगी. तो एंटी क्लॉकवाइज मोमेंट इज इक्वल टू, यहाँ पर वेट कितना है हमारे पास? 100 है. व्हाट इज द डिस्टेंस ऑफ दिस वेट फ्रॉम द फल्क्रम? सो फल्क्रम इज एट 32 एंड डिफरेंस इन डिस्टेंस इट इज bigger value is 32, fulcrum is at 32 and the weight is hanging at 24. 32 minus 24 is equal to clockwise moment. Clockwise moment हमारा इस weight W का आएगा और यहाँ पर इसकी position हमें पता है 50 पे है. fulcrum से इसका distance कितना हो जाएगा? 50 minus 32. Now we can calculate this. 100 multiplied by 32 minus 24, it's 8. So 100 into 8 is equal to W and 50 minus 32 is equal to 18. So 100 into 8 divided by 18, this is the value of W. 2, 4, 8 and then 9. It means 400 upon 9. 400 upon 9 and its value comes out to be 44.4 GF. This is the value of the weight W. Now coming to next question, part number 2. A force F acts on a body and displaces it by a distance s in a direction making an angle theta with the direction of force. Write the expression for the work done by the force. And we all know that work done W is equal to Fs, but here they are mentioning angle also, then it is equal to cos theta. So Fs cos theta is the complete expression for the work done by the force. And B part, what should be the angle between the force and the displacement to get zero or maximum work? Two parts are here. Suppose work is here. In this diagram, this is theta and this is the direction of force. So, what they are asking in first part, 0. So, cos 90 value is 0. Cos 90. So, angle should be 90 degree. So, when theta is equal to 90 degree, Fs cos 90, it means 0. So, work done is equal to 0 when theta is equal to 90 degree. And in second part, maximum work, for maximum work, cos 0 is equal to 1. So, work done is equal to Fs and cos 0 is 1. So, this is the maximum work done, which is F into S. When it happens, when angle is equal to 0 degree. So, these are our two parts in one question. In part number 3, magnesium, here atomic number is given as 12 and mass number is 27. Emits a beta particle and is transformed into aluminium. You can say, see here. Write the mass number and atomic number of aluminium. What is the mass number? With the beta emission, what will happen to the atomic number? Atomic number increases by 1. So 12 plus 1, it means it becomes 13. And mass number remains same, it means 27. So aluminium atomic number is 13 and mass number is 27. In B part, aluminium emits a gamma ray. Aluminium emits a gamma ray. What is the resulting nucleus? And we know that after gamma decay, there is no change in the nucleus. Same nucleus of aluminium will again formed. So, answer will be aluminium. In part number 4, what name is given to the cylindrical coil of diameter less than its length? So, we know that it is a solenoid because solenoid is a cylindrical coil in which diameter is less than its length. In B part, if a piece of soft iron is placed inside the coil mentioned in part A and then current is passed in the coil from a battery, what name is then given to the device so obtained? And we very well know that the name of this device is electromagnet because it will magnetize and the magnetism retain only till the electricity is there. So, this will become converted into a electromagnet. Now coming to last part, two sets A and B of 3 bulbs each are glowing in 2 separate rooms. 3 bulbs each. 2 sets are there. One set is A, another is B. When one of the bulb in set A is fused, the other 2 bulbs also cease to glow. They stop glowing. But in set B, when one bulb is fused, the other 2 bulbs continue to glow. Explain why this phenomena occurs. क्यों ऐसा हुआ? The bulb of set A are connected in series क्योंकि हमें पता है सीरीज में अगर कोई फॉल्ट एक एप्लियंस में आएगा तो वो पूरी चेन को रोक देगा. Therefore, when one bulb is fused, the current stop flowing. Whereas bulb जो set B के अंदर लगा हुआ है, the bulb of set B are connected in parallel. Connected in parallel. When one bulb is fused, then current flows to the other bulb. तो एक bulb के फ्यूज होने से पैरेलल कॉम्बिनेशन में कोई इंपैक्ट नहीं होता, जबकि सीरीज कॉम्बिनेशन में अगर एक भी डिवाइस या एप्लायंस फॉल्टी हो जाएगा तो पूरा चेन वर्क करना स्टॉप कर देगा. With this we come to the end of section A. Now coming to section B, where we have to attempt only 4 questions from section B. Now coming to question number 4. First part, the diagram not drawn to scale shows the graphical relation between angle of deviation on y-axis and angle of incidence on x-axis when light passes through a triangular prism of angle 50 degree. So, angle of prism A is given as 50 degree in this case of a certain glass material. A part state the angle of minimum deviation of this prism and the corresponding angle of incidence. We know that here corresponding angle of incidence is 42 degree. So I is equal to 42 degree and delta minimum corresponding value on this y-axis, delta minimum is 34 degree. We can check our answer also because we know that delta minimum is equal to 2i minus a. Here 2 value of I is 42 degree minus a angle of prism we take as 50 degree. So 84 minus 50, it means 34. 34 is the angle of minimum deviation and here angle of minimum deviation is 34 degree. So first part is over. In second part, calculate the value of x. For the value of x, we need to know the formula a plus delta is equal to I1 plus I2. And in our case, I1 and I2 we need to calculate here as x. It is given as x. A plus delta. A is angle of prism. Its value is given as 50 and angle of deviation it is 36 degree is equal to I1, it means 40 and then x. So what is the value of x? 50 plus 36, it means 86 minus 40. So value of x is 46 degree. So value of x comes out to be 46 degree. This is our answer. Now coming to second part of question number 4. Comment on the statement, when any ray of white light is incident on a glass prism, it simply disperses it into its 7 constituent colors. So for this we need to use two glass prism, two identical glass prism. You can say similar glass prism. So one we need to put like this and another prism we need to put like this in the inverted position. When a white light from a slit, you can say S, is enter in this first prism, it disperses into 7 colors. We are not showing all the 7 colors. We know that this is red end and this is violet end. So R and V, red and violet. And when they come out from the prism, we know that they bend towards the base of the prism. So when they bend toward the base of the prism and incident on another prism, then they will move toward the base of the prism. And when they meet, they come out as a white light. If we place a screen over here, we will get a white spot over it. But we need to put here values R and V, red end and violet end. So this is the combination of these two prisms. First prism is known as dispersing prism and second prism is known as recombination prism. So this is dispersing prism and this is recombination prism, and with the help of this prism we will get the white light again, and our statement is proved now. Now coming to third part, the adjacent diagram shows a point source P inside the water container. 4 rays A, B, C and D starting from the source P are shown up to the water surface. A point. Show in the diagram the path of these rays after striking the water surface. The critical angle of water surface is 48 degree. So we know that first ray goes straightway without any deviation from when it comes out the water surface, because we know here angle of incidence I is equal to 0 degree. So no refraction and reflection occurs. It goes straight, no deviation occurs. In second ray B, we know that a part of ray is refracted, and because it is moving from water, it means denser medium to rarer medium, it bends away from the normal. And some part of it is reflected back inside the water also. So this is the refracted part of the ray. In third ray C, angle of incidence is 48 degree and it is given in the question that critical angle of water surface is 48 degree. So we know that if it is critical angle, then ray will remain on the surface like this, and here R is equal to 90 degree and some part of it is reflected back in the same medium also. In D part, this angle is more than 48 degree. So we know that no part of light ray is refracted in the another medium. All the ray is reflected in the same medium. So this is the phenomena of total internal reflection, because this angle is greater than critical angle. This angle is greater than 48 degree. It means greater than critical angle. Now in second part, name the phenomena which the rays B and D exhibit. B ray exhibit the phenomena of refraction because light ray is coming from denser medium to rarer medium. Medium is changing. And in D it is total internal reflection. In C part, define the phenomena exhibited by ray C, and we know that C exhibit the phenomena of critical angle because here angle is 48 degree. So we know the definition of critical angle. Critical angle is the angle of incidence in the denser medium corresponding to which the angle of refraction in the rarer medium is 90 degree. So here R is equal to 90 degree where I is equal to critical angle. Now coming to question number 5, the adjacent diagram shows an object and its image I. As we can see here, the image is formed on the left hand side of the object and it is magnified and virtual. We will get the virtual and magnified image only in the case of convex lens. So here in second part they have asked name the type of lens. In this case it is a convex lens. Second, copy the diagram and draw suitable rays to locate the lens and its focus. So we know that this is the last case of convex lens. Convex lens, the object is in between optical center and focus. This is the object. The ray which is going straight parallel to the principal axis will pass to the second focus of convex lens, and the ray which is passing from optical center passes undeviated. These rays will not meet, but if we produce them backward, they will meet on this side of the convex lens, and here we will get the virtual image of the object. This is our object AB and this is a virtual image A dash B dash. This you need to draw. Take care to draw these arrows also, and focus, optical center, all the points should be there. And in the case of convex lens, we know that this is focus 1 and this is focus 2 and this is 2f2 and this is 2f1. 2f1 you can draw on either side of this. Coming to part number 2, the critical angle for the glass which the equilateral prism ABC is made up of is 48 degree. So it is given that critical angle is 48 degree in this case. A ray of light incident on the side AB of the prism is reflected along DE. This is reflected along DE such that the angle it makes with the side AC is 138 degree. This angle is 138 degree as shown in the diagram. Also angle EDB is equal to 90 degree. EDB. It means this angle is given as 90 degree. Now draw the path of ray incident on the side AB which travel along DE. Now AB, we know that here angle is 90 degree. It means incident ray which is perpendicular on this surface AB. It means here R is equal to 0. It means I is also equal to 0. It means this incident ray is coming perpendicular on this surface. So this is perpendicular on this surface from outside also. This should be a straight line. Now suppose this ray is, we can take it as G, whatever name you want to give. GD is incident normally on this surface and then it goes straight inside the prism, and then on AC it makes an angle of 138 degree because here angle is 90 degree. So 90 degree angle should also be here also. So angle of incidence I is equal to here in this case 138 minus 90 degree. It means 48 degree, which is equal to our critical angle. So we know that when angle of incidence is equal to critical angle, then the ray passes on the surface. So this ray will come out like EF, making an angle of 48 degree with the normal. Angle of incidence is 48 degree. So this is the path of the ray along EF. So the path along which the ray DE travels from point E onward to the side BC. So first we need to draw the incident ray, and then this is the emergent ray along the surface AC in this case. Now in third part, an object is placed at a distance of 12 centimeter from a convex lens. Object is placed. So it means this is the object distance which is given. U is equal to object distance, we take minus. So 12 centimeter. From a convex lens of focal length 8 centimeter. We know that focal length of a convex lens is always positive. So 8 centimeter. Find the position of the image. 1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. 1 by V we need to calculate 1 by F. F is 8 minus plus upon U कितना है? U is minus 12. So here 8 and 12. LCM is 24. 8, 3, 24 minus 12, 2. 3 minus 2. It means 1 upon 24. So V is equal to 24 centimeter. So now the value of V is equal to 24 centimeter. It means the distance of image is 24 centimeter on the other side of the lens. So V is 24. Now magnification M is equal to V upon U. V is 24 and U is minus 12. So answer is minus 2. Magnification is minus 2. It means the image formed is minus sign, indicate that it is real, and its combination is with inverted, real and inverted image, and this 2 shows that this is a magnified image also. So characteristics of image are real, inverted and magnified. In last part, give the relationship between the critical angle and the refractive index. So mu and critical angle. So when refractive index of air with respect to any medium, its value is sin IC or divided by sin 90. But we know that sin 90 is 1, so its value is sin IC only. No, if they have asked the refractive index of medium with respect to air, that 1 upon sin C, it means it is equal to cosec IC. So the relation between these two is cosec IC. Critical angle, cosec, and then A mu M means refractive index of medium with respect to air. With this we come to the end of this video. I will solve next question in my next video because I am totally exhausted now. Thanks for watching till the end. Keep watching, sharing and subscribe to my channel. A special thanks to all the teachers who are always there to help me in any way. So thanks to all of you.